Want to shop Walmart Black Friday deals first? Walmart Plus members get early access to our hottest deals. Join now and get 50% off a one-year annual membership. Shop Black Friday deals first with Walmart Plus. See terms at walmartplus.com.
This is the sound of your ride home with Dad after he caught you vaping. Awkward, isn't it? Most vapes contain seriously addictive levels of nicotine and disappointment. Know the real cost of vapes. Brought to you by the FDA.
Hi, I'm Chris.
And I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Fergal.
And we're from Movie Smash.
Comic book movies are having a golden age right now with the MCU.
Movies based on comics aren't necessarily a new thing, but they're a big thing.
Join us every other Tuesday on Movie Smash.
We explore these movies and find some hidden gems.
Every other week, we revisit some of the best.
And some of the worst movies based on comics or graphic novels.
Was Green Lantern as bad as you remember?
Heck no!
Is Time Cop the most accurate time travel movie ever created?
Absolutely.
Was Mystery Men way ahead of its time?
Should they be revisited? Should they be forgotten?
Join us on Movie Smash and find out. Listen wherever you find your fine podcasts.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All2ReelToo. My name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me, as always, is...
Sesame, we could have been gods in Carta.
We could have been gods.
Yeah, could have been.
Mm-hmm. We could be heroes.
You decided that we have to do the right thing and not become gods. So now this is where we're at. Thank you for that, by the way.
Yes.
Now we're just regular mere mortals now. Isn't that fun, Mike?
Yes.
We're fun. We got mere mortals, so isn't it?
I decided instead of being a god that I would be a podcaster. And that was the goal in my life. I mean, they're both on the same level. I mean, people listen to you. Sometimes they follow you blindly, like Joe Rogan. And sometimes... I don't know.
Yep.
Sometimes you get a cult following. Yep. Sometimes there's weird dietary things within the following, like in some religions you can't eat meat on Fridays, whereas other ones they want you to, take horse tranquilizers or something to help cure COVID. It's all good. It's the same thing.
We have all different beliefs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or horse medicine, whatever the fuck it was.
Ivermectin. Sorry, that's ivermectin.
Yep. So
Ivermectin. Sorry.
Ivermectin. I used to go to a school with a guy named Ivan Mectin, and it was
now he's probably like, God damn it! Like, who knows? Maybe he's a Trump supporter. I don't know. Hopefully not. But
well, I don't know. He might be, but he's a fictional character I just made up in my head right now, so he might not be.
Oh, there's not. Okay, there's not Ivan Mectin. Okay.
Yes.
There is no Ivan. All right.
Yeah. I hate to break it to you, but I make these things up. Anyway, so today on the show, as we speak of things, that can cure things and are mystical and stuff like ivermectin, we are covering the 1992 film Dr. Mordrid, which was directed by Albert and Charles Band, written by Charles Band and C. Courtney Joyner. The film stars Jeffrey Combs, who people may know from Reanimator and like every incarnation since the 80s of Star Trek. He's played somebody on there. Then we also have Yvette Nippar, who our fans may remember from our episode RoboCop the series. She was one of the co-stars in that show. We have Jay Acovoni or something like that as he's in this. We have Keith Caloris, Rich Brinkley, and Brian Thompson as Kabal, our villain. Brian Thompson also appears in like numerous Star Trek roles, as well as, Jeffrey Combs. They've even worked together in Star Trek. So,
Nice.
yeah, and he was also in Mortal Kombat Annihilation as Shao Kahn. So,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
I was gonna say face looked familiar, but okay, I can see that now. That movie's terrible, by the way.
Oh yeah, it is. He's also played he's played villains in movies like Cobra and Dragonheart and The Terminator, and he's even recently appeared in 9 episodes of 911 on TV. So
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie was horrible. I liked the first Mortal Kombat, and then 1 year later, or maybe 2 years later, I was like, oh, I can't believe we're gonna see, and I saw it. I'm just like, oh my god, I was so disappointed in this. Not only that, they had like different actors playing. Like I think Raiden wasn't even played by the same guy anymore.
There was a lot of different recasts because it was on a lower budget. Yeah, because Raiden, he's the guy. He's the one that Christopher Lambert played in the first one, right?
Like silver hair, he's like lightning shoots out of his hands.
Yeah, because the second one he was played by James Remar, who people may know from Black Lightning and other things. So yeah, the TV show. This movie here also has, in a small cameo role, Alex Band, who is the son of Charles Band, the director, but he is also the lead singer of the band The Calling.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a little kid at the time when he did this, but the band The Calling? Are you familiar with them?
I've heard of them, yeah.
They have the song Wherever You May Go.
I'm not sure if I know that.
Wherever You Will Go. I mean, I'm sorry, not may go. Wherever You Will Go. It's the song with the lyrics. Where is it? I'll cut this part out. If I could, then I would. I'll go wherever you will go. Way up high, down low. Go wherever you will go. Yeah.
What part did he play in this movie?
He is Alex, the museum kid. He has one scene in the museum.
Oh my god, that kid! Wow.
Yeah.
He calls the guy a dick or something like that. Because he's like, we'll get to it later, but yeah, he's like, dick?
But yeah, he's the director's son, the director-writer's son. The plot of this movie, according to the short description here on the Internet Movie Database, is an unspeakable evil has come into our dimension and wants to rule over Earth, and only a mysterious sorcerer known as Dr. Mordrid can stop him.
Yeah,
yep.
He's a hero.
Yes, he is. Initial thoughts here on this movie, Sesame?
It was kind of fun to watch. It kind of reminded me of one of these like Mystery Science 3000 movies.
It was actually the 13th season of Mystery Science Theater 3000. It has an episode. Okay. Yes.
Well, there you go. It wasn't actually that bad though. It was corny, low budget. The acting was a little bit, forced kind of. But I don't know. I kind of liked it. I like these kind of movies now. I think I've gotten so used to reviewing these kind of movies that like my standards have gotten lower a little bit, and so now I'm like, I could enjoy this somehow. My only real complaint is that the pacing was too off. It was too short of a movie, and couldn't really tell the story the way that they wanted to with 74 minutes or something.
I mean, it was intended to be a trilogy, but the movie didn't make enough to make sequels.
Right.
Even though it was a direct-to-video movie.
Right.
Because this was but Paramount was part of the financing behind it, but this was Full Moon Pictures. They're known for low budget movies. They have because Charles Band and his dad Albert Band had a company that started in the 70s. First, they had one called Charles Band Productions, and then they formed Empire Pictures in 1983, and that company produced films like Ghoulies 2, and Reanimator.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, because Reanimator, we got that Jeffrey Combs from that is in this movie as Dr. Mordrid.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Then they had like that folded, but those movies were like movies that were released in like theaters and then became popular on video, and so they just decided to start making movies for video.
Right.
That company went bankrupt and they started Full Moon Productions. in 1988. And Full Moon has released movies such as Puppet Master, Prehysteria, Species, Ginger Dead Man,
Yeah.
Trancers.
I've seen Puppet Master.
2,
Yeah.
Trancers 2, Doll Man versus Demonic Toys, Evil Bong. These are like ones that they've done over the years. The whole Evil Bong series, the whole, Puppet Master series, the Haunted Dollhouse, stuff like that. They're still making movies. Their latest movie that came out this year, which is part of a series that they have of movies called Barbie and Kendra, is the name of the series. But in 2020, they had a movie called Barbie and Kendra Save the Tiger King. Then they had in that same year Barbie and Kendra Storm Area 51, and this year they had a movie called Barbie and Kendra Crash Joe Bob's Drive-In Jamboree.
Okay.
So yeah, there's there's a lot of movies they're still producing. At least Charles Band is. I think Albert passed away like 22 years ago. So yeah, but still, it's like, yeah. So your cheap movies that you loved watching on video that you would just rent at the video store when in the 90s are pretty much these guys and other companies like that.
Yeah,
I remember watching all of these with my friend Randy when they came out. So it's yeah. Dr. Mordrid, little background here. So there's rumors that are not proven that at one point when it was Empire, when the company was Empire, they had the rights to Doctor Strange from Marvel.
Okay. Wow.
This is rumors, and other people have said this is totally not true, and that they had done some pre-production on the script for that and everything, and then lost the rights. And then when they got to Full Moon, they decided to make it and just change enough to make it not legally enough so they didn't get sued. Other stories here we've got so basically what happened is that Dr. Mordrid was created based on, there was a character named Mr. Mortalis or something of that nature, created by created by Jack Kirby from Marvel. He was working with Charles Band on a script. Although the film rights weren't up for grabs, the touch of a real Marvel legend did come into play, according to this the story I'm reading. Band, a huge comic fan, admired artist Jack Kirby and signed him to a 2-picture deal in the 80s to develop features inspired by the ideas that were throwbacks to the Silver Age of comics. So he came up with this idea for a Doctor Strange homage dubbed Mr. Mortalis at first, and later referred to it the more on nose Dr. Mortalis. He drew several concept renderings and things of that nature, and eventually Band renamed it Dr. Mordrid instead of Mortalis. Somebody changed the name eventually, and it was called Master of the Unknown. And there's rumors that he created it as Master of the Unknown based on the fact that people would ask him, like, what are his powers? And so he just came up with Masters of the Unknown, so he didn't have to answer it.
Right.
That's
like yeah,
And then he tapped C. Courtney Joyner to write the screenplay, and Joyner had written like several scripts for Band in the past, and and so they basically, it was kind of like so Joyner told some reporter at one point that the story has gotten so speculative and messed up. I don't know if Charlie was ever in negotiation for the Strange rights, as he and Stan Lee were good friends and remained so until Stan's death. When I was brought on, Dr. Mordrid was known as Dr. Mortalis, and the creation of Jack Kirby, somewhere along the line, there was a money problem, and I was asked to step in and use the material that was there in the concept, which was Strange-like for sure, but when I came on, there was no switching around of Strange from the comics or anything like that. And he says, and then he continued to say that, I love the Ditko Strange, and this is certainly a tribute to it, but I took off from some of the great Kirby artwork to construct the story, and I don't recall Doctor Strange fighting dino skeletons. This has come up for debate quite a bit, and I only take comfort in the fact that our little movie is considered the best non-Doctor Strange Doctor Strange, and certainly better than the 70s TV movie was. So yeah. Yeah,
I know, man. Like, oh god, that part right there with the dinosaur skeletons was, oh man, that was great.
Pretty fun.
What do they call those? effects. I love practical effects, man.
Yeah, it was like stop motion. It was completely stop motion, very Harryhausen sort of way. I watched some behind the scenes stuff of how they did that, and it actually looks pretty cool. But anyways, so what goes down in this movie?
So we're kind of by the way, I'm gonna start using some of the clips from this movie as like for videos for some of my songs because there's like some really trippy stuff. So I'm like, I was putting down like time, like, ooh, 19 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm gonna write that, because I'll use that, little cool thing to, tidbit. Basically, what's his name though? What's his first name? Is it Adon? Or is it
Anton.
So Anton, we get this like pair of like big eyes, like from space, is talking to Anton, and is basically like telling him like his mission, and he's like, "Are you sure? Are you gonna obey me?" And he's like, "Yes, master," or whatever. And so then he goes to like Earth because he was like in a sort of astral plane, and he wakes up inside of his, I think his apartment or something like that, and his day job is.
His generic Sanctum Sanctorum. So
that was the thing I was getting at too. It's like it's really nice apartment building. He's got books, the occult.
It's very similar to Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum.
It is.
Yeah,
he's got all this stuff. He's got a pet raven named Edgar Allan.
Yeah,
get it? Because Allan Poe, and he's supposed to be. Excuse me. He's supposed to be either eternal or just very old. I'm not sure because apparently. They were as old as the dinosaurs at one point, so I don't know how old these guys really are supposed to be. But
yeah, they've at one point they talk about how they've been around several Earth centuries. So yeah,
centuries. I mean, dinosaurs were like
I'm assuming more than centuries, but So yeah.
But yeah, first though they didn't really say that. Maybe again the script got changed over time because he was saying he was like around 100, so maybe they they shifted a little bit like what they're gonna say. And so he wakes up from his sort of dream state, and his day job, he's like a criminologist, but he's trying to say that like supernatural beliefs and like mysticism like plays a part in people committing crimes, I guess is what
he's kind of like like looks at the mystic or occultic aspects of criminology sort of thing, like probably, I mean, and plus this movie came out like in the height of the satanic panic too, so it's kind of interesting. Yeah,
that's why I think they were doing it, because they did mention about like satanic cults and things like that. So yeah, I was probably figuring that was what they were going on. There's this other woman who lives in his apartment complex, and she's like she works with the police as like a researcher like kind of role.
Yeah, she's a consultant, and her name is Samantha Hunt, the character. So
that's right, yeah, consultant, and she's kind of intrigued by him because he really hardly ever leaves his room and stuff like that, and but eventually sees him because there's like a argument going between some of the neighbors. Some guy likes to take his dog out for a walk in like the middle of the night, and the dog's always barking and waking people up, and this woman's mad at him, and so they get into a huge thing, and eventually she kind of peeks out her door and he kind of peeks out his door to see what's going on. And they talk for a minute. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was saying it's the most pointless scene in the whole movie, and it's just for the like meet cute of the characters, but it's completely it's like two random like sitcom characters just entered this like fantasy movie. It's just so weird.
It is like because there's nothing else about this movie that's like a comedy at all. Like it's very serious.
I mean, it is comedic though. You've got some people that are kind of funny throughout. So
yeah, I mean, you got these. I'll get to them later, but yeah, they got these followers of what was his name? Of Kabal.
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 He's a one-man cabal.
Kabal. But that's the other thing. I was like, did they name him that like on purpose, Kabal? Because like that's like an anti-Semitic term, like like the Jewish cabal. He's trying to take over the world or whatever. And like, yeah, maybe change the name to that from that. But
I don't know. I mean, because like Charles Band is Jewish, so I don't know. So it's like
maybe that's why they named him that. That's terrible.
I don't know.
That's horrible. If they knew that, they still named him that. God, that's bad.
Yeah.
Wow. That's horrible. Now that you mentioned that, that's like makes it even worse. It's like, yeah, let's name the one Jewish guy Kabal. Man, they really hit it out for him like that.
No, I'm not talking about the actor. I'm talking about the writer director of the movie is Jewish.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe he wrote it. Okay, well, then if he wrote it, or whatever, fine. I thought you meant the actor that they named him Kabal was Jewish. I'm like, wow.
He could be Jewish too, for all I know. I don't know, but I know for sure that Charles Band is, because I was reading. I was reading the biography of his son, the singer of that, and he was talking about how he was raised with a Jewish father and a Christian mother. So I was just like, yeah. So.
Okay, well that's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting though, because the movie kind of has somewhat of like a biblical tone, because like we find out that Anton and Kabal are like brothers. They were like raised to basically be like almost like Jesus versus Lucifer, like in the Mormon church, where like they were brothers.
It's like it's implied that they're brothers. It's never flat out said though. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they had this dumb meet cute again. Like it was just a very dumb scene to just force that into the movie.
It's weird. She says, "I've only seen you once before here," and everything, and then he has this amulet, much like Doctor Strange has.
Yes.
And he can like freeze people with it. And so he freezes her, and then he goes into his apartment, and then just disappeared. And my thing is that such a waste of your magic when you could have just said, "Hey, I got to go take care of something. I got something on the oven or on the stove or something." You know, he could have just gone into his apartment and said, "I'll talk to you."
I know. I don't know. I have no idea what that's for. At first, I thought that he erased her memory. Yeah. I don't know. It was kind of dumb. Yeah, maybe he's just not good at like utilizing this, or like, you know, saving it up. He's just like wasted on every little interaction he can find. Like, oh, I want to freeze like the guy at the Burger King restaurant so he doesn't drop my Coke for the 5th time or something like that. Or like,
he just got nervous in front of a pretty girl, and he's just like, "Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm gotta get out of here."
Just freeze her and walk away. But that's what, because I thought he was doing like a memory eraser, because that would actually make sense. But that's not even what he did. He just froze her and walked away.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And so
a lot of questions if the guy just disappeared. Like, what the fuck?
It's like, what do you, and of course she did look kind of confused. So it's like, wait, what the hell just happened? And then she just like kind of confusedly walks back into her room. I don't know. And she goes to one of his lectures when he's talking about like, you know, like, oh, like when the full moon, you get it because it's full moon production. He's like, oh, you know, you always know, like, oh, it must be a full moon tonight because people are acting, you know, more crazy than usual or whatever, which is kind of true. It does seem to happen, but I don't know. I'm not sure if that's really because of any mystical thing or just whatever. I don't know. But
well, I'll find out the next time I go into space and talk to a couple of disembodied eyeballs. You know,
exactly. You know what that reminded me of? I'm trying to. There was some other movie. It wasn't a video game where there was just like a set of 2 eyes that were just like communicating with like the main character. What was it? Ninja? No, not Ninja Gaiden. I'll have to think about it later. Yeah. But there was something like that seemed like oddly familiar.
It reminded me of like, have you ever seen Mork and Mindy?
Yeah.
Like when he talks to Orson, it's just like,
okay.
It reminded me of that. Like, what the fuck?
Maybe that's what they did. They're like, hey, you know how they like this show, right? Let's just superimpose that onto this green screen or whatever the fuck's going on. I don't know.
At least the person wasn't disembodied eyes, so it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, this whoever this was guy, I don't know if he was supposed to be God or who he was even supposed to be, but
I'm trying to. I'll look it up, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And so I guess she goes to this lecture. She's, you know, kind of intrigued with what he has to say. He like set his apartment on fire. I'm not sure on purpose. I don't know. And then he went to go talk to the dude again. And then she called up the fire department to go check out the fire because the handle was really hot to his door. And then they came and they're like, "Oh, what's your name? We're gonna arrest you for, or no, we're gonna you filed a false report."
Yeah,
or whatever. I'm like, a false report? Like, she thought it was real. That's not a false report. Like it's not like she called it in as a joke, or like a prank or something. So whatever. So he got her in trouble basically with the law. So that's nice of him. And then he lets her into his you know, the sanctum or whatever, and she sees her rent check on his table. She's like, "Wait, how do you have my rent check?" And she's like, "Oh, you're the owner of the building," or something like that. That was like some big secret, I guess. I don't know. And then It's like, okay, so he owns his whole building. Why? I don't know why. And then because he wants to get rich, I guess. I don't know. I mean, the guy is like 5 billion years old. It's like if he's still broke at this point, I kind of feel bad for him. Like, it's like how have he not built up wealth at this point? Like, it kind of reminds me of it was a meme where it says like, it's like, you ever notice like in all these movies, like the vampires are always like really wealthy and they got like mansions. They're like very sophisticated. And someone wrote, it's like, if I was hundreds of years old and still broke, I would just walk into the sun. Like,
Exactly.
exactly. It's just like, wait, what? How have you not saved up any money by now? Like,
But then again, you've got presidents who have been like supposed billionaires who have just filed for bankruptcy several times and have been around forever, and they're basically a million years old. So yeah,
that's very accurate. And so he kind of doesn't really tell her what's his deal is or whatever, but she's like I said, she works like as a consultant at the police station. One of the guys kind of has a crush on her, is always trying to like get her to have dinner with them or whatever, and she's
one
interested.
of the detectives played by
he looks familiar too.
Jay Cavoni. He was on the TV show Beating the Beast and a bunch of other things too over the years.
Okay.
Then he's like guest starred in like a million things over the years. So like all the like CSI and The Mentalist and How I Met Your Mother and General Hospital, different things. You've probably seen him somewhere. Leverage.
Okay, Leverage. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he's got. So I forgot to mention. So the beginning of the movie is Kabal's got this weird thing where he's trying to like collect a bunch of crystals or something like that. I don't know what he was. Some kind of elements or like what was that? Was it like jewels or was it crystals that he was trying to collect?
Different like elements and stuff in there, and because then he has to get them into the Philosopher's Stone. Because Harry Potter shows up later, and then
yeah, Harry Potter shows up later and kills him. No.
Yeah.
And then
but yeah, no, he's got to like basically combine all these elements inside the Philosopher's Stone, and then that's going to somehow, that's the the MacGuffin here, where he basically then what's going to help him take over the world. And he got some of the elements in was it Rio de Janeiro or something?
Yeah.
And which was actually filmed from some of the behind the scenes sticks on the side of the road in California somewhere where they didn't have permission to be, but they just shot it there. And so because the movie was made for next to nothing.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, they used a lot of stock footage for that, But
kind of reminds me of what movie was it where like the terrain was like it was Cry Wilderness, where they were like driving like completely different terrains for the stock footage and everything.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, you got to you got to deal with what you have.
Dude, no, you do. You really do.
So, yeah. What goes on then?
Oh, so he collects these. He's like trying to collect all these crystals to distill them into some like kind of potion to then pour into the stone. But I don't really understand. So his plan is that he wants the world, like he wants all the people in the world to be like his slaves, and he wants to be like a god over Earth. But what I don't understand about that is why are you going for such a small thing? Like, you guys supposed to be these like cosmic beings. Like, why would you settle for Earth? Like, why wouldn't you go bigger? I don't know. And then like, why wouldn't you try to? Oh, that's what the eyes remind. The eyes reminded me of the Doctor Strange movie, the first one, where they're going up against the what's his name, what's the guy's name in the enemy in the first Doctor Strange movie, the spiritual.
It's been years since I've seen that, so I don't remember.
Whatever, but that had like a pair of eyes too, and he was communicating with that because he was like gonna bargain with them.
Oh, yeah.
So he did like a time spell where they're just going through the same motion for like over and over until the monster finally just like relents. He's like, okay, just tell me what you want, so we can like get past this moment. And but that was like a pair of eyes as well.
Yeah, it was kind of a pair of eyes. That was
I can't, Mamamoo or something like the Mamamoo or
like I'm looking it up.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. And
yeah.
But anyway, that kind of reminded me of that. Maybe they got the idea from this movie to use the pair of eyes thing, and so now the movie goes full circle where this was supposed to be a Doctor Strange movie that then became Dr. Mordrid, and then they took ideas from this to make into the actual Doctor Strange movie, which then becomes like a prototype almost for Doctor Strange. So then it's actually fulfilled its purpose in a way,
Yes,
kind of.
and
Not
then
really, probably.
somehow the world ends after that.
It does, yeah. And so, by the way, the bad guy Kabal, he's like this like blonde dude. He's got like really blonde hair. He's like really tall, kind of
Blonde mullet.
Blonde mullet, because that was the style back then. Monotone voice.
Yeah.
He kind of like talks like this, and he has no emotion. And he's like, "Come on, we can work together, and we could rule this planet together," or whatever, that whole type of Darth Vader deal, you know, to Luke Skywalker or whatever. Bob, we could rule this galaxy together, you know. And of course, our boy Anton's like not having it one bit. He's like, "No, I swore to defend this Earth." It's like, yeah, whatever. People suck here. You know, that's why I gotta make them my slave. It's such a weird logic too. It's like you get mad at stuff. Yeah, Dormammu. That's right.
Dormammu or something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dormammu. Yeah, okay. And
in Doctor.
So they have the big. Yeah, the first Doctor Strange. Well, not the the first of our MCU Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
So I think did they make one before?
There was a '70s TV pilot, movie that was a backdoor pilot for a TV series that never came to be. Which maybe in the future we will cover.
Yeah, that actually sounds really. Yeah, I didn't know that. That sounds really cool. And so I'm kind of forgetting what happens
times, and it's not that good. But yeah,
I doubt it. I mean, I doubt it would be, but so I'm kind of forgetting a little bit what happened. Oh yeah, he's got like these like Satanist followers of his, I guess, like a guy and a woman who are like idiots, I guess.
To like I don't know, White Snake groupies or something, you know. It's just like, I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, no, it does. No, like a roadie and a groupie for White Snake. Yes. That's what they look like. No, for real. Wow. I'm trying to remember what happened.
They're hanging out in this church, in this like abandoned church and stuff, and then he comes, you know, Kabal comes there, and he like crashes for some odd reason. He has to crash through a stained glass window to get there or something.
You know, that's requirement. It's required for tell the work.
Which is interesting because they filmed at an abandoned church that I don't think they had permission to be in, and they recreated the church in miniature to make the crash through the stained glass window, because they didn't want to destroy the actual stained glass window in a church, you know. So
especially if they don't have permission to be there.
It didn't actually say that they didn't have permission, but it did say it was an abandoned church, so maybe they did get permission to be in there, but
right.
Yeah, so that he crashes in there, and then he randomly, we have to have like a nudity scene where he has sex with the girl or something, and then kind of sex. She's just naked, and then he takes his ring that he has with a symbol on it and like burns it into her head and kills her.
Is that supposed to give him power, I guess?
I don't know if he was stealing the power from her or what, but that doesn't even make sense because he's supposed to be like a god wizard or whatever. So it's like, sorcerer.
It doesn't make sense. I don't know what this was about where he was taking. It doesn't make any sense at all. And
it was just an excuse to try to, you know, be like, oh, we've got some nudity in this movie, so maybe some teenage boys will watch it now.
The early '90s thing, where it's like every movie like that had to have a nude scene somewhere for no reason. It just had to be in there.
Then this basically he I don't know, he has these people, I guess, helping him or whatever, and they're kind of like under his command or whatever, and then, you know, but he takes out the hot girl and leaves the annoying White Snake roadie. And then so they basically, no reason for that. I mean, really, they're kind of superfluous, pointless characters, but
yeah, they are. They don't really serve any purpose.
So he basically, this all leads to like a point where, so after the symbol is there on the thing, and Samantha knew that, you know, Dr. Mordrid, you know, might know stuff about this stuff, so she tells the dumbass that's been flirting with her, and then he arrests a all-powerful sorcerer.
Yeah, sure.
And puts him in handcuffs. I'm still trying to figure out how, and then they take his amulet. But my thing is couldn't he have used the amulet to begin with to not get arrested?
Yeah, but he probably figured, you know, he didn't want to like raise any suspicions that he was like a mystical being. So he probably had allow himself to be arrested.
Yeah, and they take the amulet, and it's being looked at by one of their scientist guys at the police station, because there's always those people there at police stations for some reason, and yeah, he can't he can't penetrate the metal at all. It won't, like a diamond tip drill won't even go through it. And so their plan is for her, she goes and talks to Mordrid, and then they have the plan where she's going to go steal the amulet there, and she uses the amulet and freezes the dude, and he spills his drink all over himself, because that's cool.
That's what you do, yeah.
And then so she gets the amulet, and then they get out of there. The White Snake groupie had gotten arrested, and he's like, trying to say, oh, I'm all powerful because of my god guy or whatever, and so
turns out he's not powerful at all, though.
Later, but at this point he's
later on. Yeah.
At this point he was, because he got arrested because he ended up throwing a Molotov cocktail into a police car.
Yes.
that was driven by somebody that looks like Bill Burr's dad, and
well.
Maybe
it was.
He reminded me of her. So I was just like,
maybe it was. He had like a stint where he did like B movies or something.
And then so I don't know what that was all about, but then they escape. He puts a gun to Samantha's head for some reason, and then so then he has to go to this. He goes into like a stasis where he can like project himself to the Cosmopolitan Museum, where Kabal is trying to steal the source. The Philosopher's Stone. I almost said Sorcerer's Stone because I'm an American, and I
we're Americans. We don't say Philosopher's Stone around here. Okay, we say Sorcerer's Stone.
We say Sorcerer's Stone because that's what I still think it's hilarious that when they released the movie and the books in the United States of Harry Potter, they decided to change it to Sorcerer's Stone because they didn't think that Americans would understand what Philosopher's Stone mean, because
they probably were right, because a lot of people are stupid in America, but
my thing is, are they going to understand what Sorcerer's Stone means over Philosopher's Stone? I don't think I know what ever
probably not
would mean. It's like,
plus too, it's a totally different meaning, because a Philosopher's Stone is supposed whatever. I actually have a copy of Harry Potter, the first one. I actually have the one that says Philosopher's Stone, not Sorcerer's Stone. I mean, I don't like Harry Potter anymore because I hate the author of it. But and plus, the books really aren't that great. But but I do have the one that says Philosopher's Stone. So I'm like, oh, cool! I got like one of the original ones.
That might actually be worth money. Who knows?
It's not in great shape. I mean,
okay. Well, then maybe not.
I read it about. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they have this like big final showdown in the museum. There's like this really cool stop motion animation with Kabal animates a Tyrannosaurus skeleton, and then Mordrid animates an American mastodon skeleton, and the dinosaurs battle with each other. And anyways, the mastodon ends up, which I'm still trying to figure out, it ends up piercing Kabal through the stomach and kills him.
Yeah, but how? I mean,
he's a sorcerer. He's an all-powerful sorcerer. How the fuck?
Why would it matter? Because his body's not even like his essence or who he is, and so
I still don't. I mean, maybe some of this stuff would have been answered in the unmade sequels.
True. Yeah.
So basically, he ends up, saving the day, and killing the guy, and then he wakes up. He's still under that tree, and then the White Snake looking guy comes by, and he's gonna try to kill them. He uses the amulet, freezes him. Samantha kicks the dude in his balls. When he's frozen,
like you do,
and his power's all gone and everything, but he thinks he still has the power. First, the voice of the disembodied eyes tells Mordrid that he has to leave for some reason, and he can't stay on Earth. So their budding relationship is cut short there, and he basically that big thing in the sky was called the Monitor, by the way, the disembodied eyes. Monitor.
Wait. Well, hold on a sec. Wait. Okay. Wow. So DC has a character called the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor, And then you got this was supposed to be a Marvel movie, then got changed into this weird thing. And now this guy's okay. That's very interesting, actually. Yeah.
I'm not sure when the Monitor was created in the DC universe, though. So, but
I think it was the 80s. The 80s.
Before
I think so.
Yeah. Whenever Crisis on Infinite Earths happened and stuff. So then he ends up leaving our dimension and goes back into the magic dimension or whatever. And but later that year, he asked Samantha to take care of Edgar Allan because it's like, hey, we can't be together, but hey, can you take care of my pet?
It's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
I had a Tinder date like that once. Oh wait, no, I'm joking.
She's like, hey, I'm gonna go, like, I'm just gonna travel the world for a little bit. Can you watch my pet fish or what? I don't know. It's like, sure, I guess. Like
the
whatever.
So but then later that year on Christmas, he returns to Earth because she's sitting there and she's like, yeah, I guess, Edgar, you can eat your bird seed and I'll have some eggnog and we can watch It's a Wonderful Life. And then the movie ends with he comes back and there's like really kind of creepy. It's like, maybe we can spend time together and, it's like, and we can watch the movie for the first time.
I know. The way he said it, I'd be like, I'm running out the room. Like, he's going to murder me.
I do want to point out also during the, for some odd reason, I think I was kind of riffing the movie when I was watching it. And during the battle, right before the battle in the museum or whatever, Kabal says to Mordrid, he's like, you realize you have no power over me in this state. And my response was, New York?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, wait, no. Well, in California, I do, and so
I don't have jurisdiction here, I guess. No,
I don't have jurisdiction. Let's go to New Jersey, and then we'll fight there, whatever. But yeah, but the whole thing with the little kid. So the guy who was in The Calling, he's there with his mom, and they're looking at the dinosaur bone, and then like, oh, they look so huge or whatever. And then he walks up and he's like, I remember them being much bigger. And then he just walks away and the kid calls him a dick.
And that was great.
I would say that too. Like, what if some grown man just like undercuts me for no reason? Like, just like, what the fuck, dude?
I'd have been like, my guess would have been like, I remember them being much bigger. I would have been like, well, yeah, you've grown up. Probably the last time you went to the museum, you were my age, and they were probably. Any other thoughts here about this?
No, I'm trying to think if there is anything we missed, but nothing of like a real importance. Probably just like maybe some minor nothing. There really wasn't a whole lot that actually happened in the movie. I mean, a lot of it was. And the movie
was really short. I think this episode of our podcast might even be longer than the movie. Not really.
Yeah, it was only 74 minutes plus.
Yeah,
including credits. And by the way, I don't know if this was just the version I was watching on YouTube, but it sounded like the end credits. The music did not sound like it was the original.
It might have been replaced on YouTube or something. Is what I'm wondering. Whoever uploaded it, maybe they put a song of their own on it or something.
So like promote their own music by uploading it. I mean, that's something I would do. So maybe
that's not a bad idea to do.
No, it's not. It's actually not. I'm gonna start thinking of that now and then. Like,
what I suggest is take a song of yours, and now that Steamboat Willie is in public domain, put your music underneath Steamboat Willie and just upload Steamboat Willie, and then people watch Steamboat Willie and hear your music. Or some other public domain movie or something. That way you can't get sued at all.
No, you can't. You literally.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yeah. The movie. Yeah, it was only 74 minutes long. That's just. But the opening credits was felt like forever though too. It's like a camera just panning across the whole all of his apartment basically, and it's okay.
Oh right. Yeah.
It's they pad out the movie with long opening credits, I think. So yeah.
So the actual movie itself is probably only 70 or 68 minutes.
Yeah, at the most. Yeah.
Not enough time for that kind of story.
Yeah. So anything else?
Right. No, not really. Just I enjoyed it. I think it's
liked it.
Movie to watch.
I remember watching this when it came out on video when I was a kid. So I've been wanting to cover this while. So yeah.
For some reason, that scene where they're in the park and she kicks a dude in the balls, I could swear I've seen that scene. I don't know if it's just deja vu, but like I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm like, I was almost positive I've seen that scene somewhere before. I don't know if it was like maybe on HBO when I was a kid or something, or what, or maybe on YouTube, but I was just like, I know I've seen this somewhere. Maybe I was on the astral plane and I was able to see into the future, and then I saw that scene. I don't know. Kind of a weird version, a weird way to explore your powers is by like seeing the scene from a movie. I don't know, but Then again, this whole movie they kind of do waste their powers, so I guess it kind of makes
exactly. Well, folks, hope you enjoy this episode. Do us a favor, go to all2reeltoo.com and you can check out all the links to all of our stuff. Make sure you subscribe to the show. Give us a 5-star rating if you can. Or a review. You can even review individual episodes, I believe, on Spotify now.
All right.
It's kind of cool. We have a Reddit. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but maybe by the time this is out, there might be some action on there. I'm the only member of the group. Subreddit. So look us up on there. Check us anywhere else. Check us out anywhere else. Go ahead and share the episode with your friends. Share it into the astral plane if you want to. Share it with your disembodied eyes friend that up in space or something. I'm sure the thing I'm trying to figure out is if it's just some eyes. Do they have ears too? I mean, I'm confused. Like, it'd be really weird to have disembodied ears talking to you, though. I mean, I don't know.
That would look,
look really
he
weird.
He does, because he hears Anton talking to him, so I know he can hear him somehow.
But anyways, folks, just remember that I love you. I'm not going to just freeze you and say goodbye and without saying goodbye, just letting you know that. So, we're going to actually say goodbye here, folks. Sesame loves you.
Yep.
Free Palestine. Trans lives are human lives. Immigrants deserve human rights as well. Everyone deserves basic human rights. I don't care who they are. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All2ReelToo podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.